Hi, I'm Chef Gail Sokol and welcome to my kitchen. Today, we're going festive and we're getting ready for any holiday, any celebration, any get-together you want to have with this little appetizer crisp, which I like to call smoked Gouda and almond cheese crisp. And they are delightful with a sip of champagne, a mimosa, for brunch, or maybe a pre-dinner little aperitif with your martini straight up with an olive. So whatever you want, this crisp is easy, it's fun to make, and you can put it in the freezer and make them right before company drops by, or you want to have a celebration and plan ahead. So before I get started, I would like you to click that notification button because I don't want you to miss any of my videos, any of my tips. You've got to become a subscriber. Very important. I would love to have you become a subscriber. It means a lot to me. All right. So before we get started, you don't have to worry about preheating your oven yet because these are going to chill. And these can also be frozen for several weeks before you want to use them. This is similar to a refrigerator cookie, if you will. So the type where you make it, you put it in a log, you roll it in plastic wrap or whatever, and you put it in the freezer, and then right before you want them, you put them in the fridge, keep them cold, slice them thin, bake them off. This is exactly what you want to have for that perfect little appetizer crunch before dinner, or maybe that's all you're having. Okay, like a wine and cheese. All right, in a food processor, and it's easier in a food processor to do this, 1 cup plus 2 tablespoons all-purpose flour. And then we have 1 teaspoon of kosher salt, 1 teaspoon of minced or dried onion. I love the taste, and I love the smell and the texture of that minced dried onion, a little crispy. You don't want to use any fresh herbs in this. They'll get soggy and they'll create a soggy cracker. Nobody wants a soggy cracker. And then we have 1/4 teaspoon of coarsely ground pepper, and what did I use? 1/4 teaspoon of garlic powder. I'm going to put that all in with our flour, and I'm going to give it a whirl. So I'm giving it a whirl just to get all the dry ingredients fully incorporated. Very similar to what you would do when you're making a pie crust. Okay? So now I'm going to grab my 1 stick of unsalted, softened butter. I'm going to put that in there. And then I have 2 1/4 cups of shredded smoked Gouda. And do get the smoked Gouda. It makes a difference. That little bit of smokiness is that je ne sais quoi in these crackers. They're wonderful. And you do have to have it shredded because we want it now to be in little bits so it melts thoroughly in our cracker. So you're going to put that in there. And then we're going to pulse it. Oh, I can smell that smokiness. Smells good. I love smoked Gouda. It's one of my most favorite cheeses of all times. I love it. All right. So we're just going to pulse it until we get little bits, bitty bits of the cheese. You know, like little tiny bits. All right. Pulse, and you want to get that butter into tiny little pieces. And it's softened, so it's almost getting dough-like, but it's not wet enough. So right now, you're going to get these little bits. Okay, see these little tiny fine particles? And now I'm going to add 1 egg yolk, 1 large egg yolk, all right? And the white I'm saving because we're going to coat our logs with the white with a pastry brush and then roll them in chopped salted almonds. What? It's going to be awesome. All right. Now, I'm going to put the yolk in. I'm going to give it a little bit of a whirl. And I'm going to add about 1 tablespoon of water at first. I may need more. I may need less. Feel this. It's not totally coming together yet. So it may need up to maybe 1.5 tablespoons You may even have to go a little more, depending on how, I'm going to do 1.5 right now, depending on how generous you were with your cheese. I was a little generous. So I did put in 2¼ cups though. So I'm going to whirl this around now. I really want it to get doughy. All right, there we go. See it? So that's about 1½ tablespoons of water. We don't need any more water. Nice dough. So now I had a bowl handy just in case I wanted to put this in a bowl to sort of bring it together. No need. I think we're there. All right, you see this? We got our beautiful, beautiful cheesy dough, cheesy peppery dough. Okay. Oh, it smells delightful. And now I'm just going to sort of roll it into a long log. I really want to get it into 2 logs. So I am going to whack it in half. And I'm going to use my hands. I'm just going to whack it, all right, in half. And I'm going to make each one about a 9-inch. Just roll it almost like you're rolling Play-Doh, like a 9-inch, and I have a ruler here. So about 9 to 10 inches in diameter, depending on how big you want them. Every once in a while, give the ends a little thump so they stay round, because you really want it round. All right. These are going to make quite a bit, depending on how thin you slice them. And I like them thin because I like them crisp. You like them thin and you like them crisp. So this is 9 inches from here to here. I'm not there yet. Getting there, getting there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to continue to roll these. And then I'm going to, I got one almost there. And you can see they roll out beautifully. They really do. They roll out real nice. Real nice. And I'm going to take this one. I just want to show you because I got the other one to do. And I'm going to put it in a piece of plastic wrap. All right. So don't handle it any more than you have to. Roll it up and give it another roll. Just sort of get the edges down. Don't flatten it. Roll it. And then I'm going to put it on a sheet pan. I'm going to do the same thing with my other one on a sheet pan. And I'm going to put it in the fridge for maybe 2 to 3 hours, depending on how cold your fridge is. You want this hard. And if it's not going to get hard in the fridge, you can even leave it overnight. Sometimes they even put it in the freezer for an hour or 2, depending on how cold your freezer is. So feel it. You want it firm, but you want it sliceable. You want your butter to go back to the way it was when it was chilled. All right, I'm going to do the same for this one. See you back after. So my smoked Gouda and almond crisps have chilled, and they're perfect for slicing. But first, we have to do one last embellishment. We are going to gently coat them with some egg white. And then remember, we put a little egg white aside. We put that one egg white. And I have some finely chopped salted almonds, about 1/3 cup. And I'm just going to have a little bit over here and then enough for the other one as well. And we're just going to gently coat. It's going to be a light coating. You don't want a heavy coating here. You want just a light coating. And we've preheated our oven to 350. All right. Now, depending on how thick you make these will determine how crisp they are. So if you make them about between 1/8 and 1/4 inch thick, they'll be crisper than if you make them about 1/2 inch thick, which would be softer. Cheesier and softer. Now you can do whatever you like. I like them crisp. So we're going to put them on here and roll it. We're going to roll it, spread those almonds around. If it doesn't get to everything, don't worry. Just sort of push it in a little bit. And remember, the log is firm. If it is too hard for slicing or you've frozen it, leave it in the fridge if you've frozen it for a few hours, or you can leave it out if it's really, really too hard. How pretty that looks. It's looking like we should celebrate something, right? Festive and beautiful. So I have chilled these in the fridge only. I have not frozen them, but I'm going to make sure that they are coated with almonds everywhere you go. All right, everywhere you go. And I can smell the almonds. I can smell the Gouda, the smokiness of the Gouda. It's just delightful. It is delightful. This would make a beautiful addition to your wine and cheese party, New Year's Eve, any celebration, someone getting married. Did someone say someone's getting married? You can just enjoy these with everything. They are so good. All right, now I'm going to get a really sharp knife, and I'm going to start over here because I'm left-handed. I'm going to start over here, and you're just going to push down, and you don't want to, see how these look? And if they get a little squish, you can reshape them. That did not. You're going to put them on a parchment-lined sheet pan. Thin, thin. I like them thin, thin. All right, thin. Delicious. Oh, and you know what? If you don't like smoked Gouda, use a different cheese. Use a different cheese. I won't judge you. Just use a different cheese. Just delightful. So I'm going to keep slicing these. You're going to put them on your sheet pan, and you can put them about an inch apart. And then you're going to bake them about 15 to 17 minutes until they look nice and crispy and golden. And they will crisp up even more when they come out of the oven. So my smoked Gouda almond crisps came out of the oven, darlings, and I'm ready to toast because they are divine. You could smell the Gouda all throughout the house. Let's try one, shall we? Oh my gosh. Melt in your mouth. Delicious. Become a subscriber. I hope you make these crisps for any holiday, any celebration. Till next time.